Good day, and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at Icecrown Citadel and why you should consider running this raid in retail World of Warcraft. Now, obviously, the big bonus from this raid is the Invincible's Reins, which drops Invincible, the flying undead steed of Arthas. Now, Invincible is a highly coveted mount. Very, very exciting. Looks good still, I would say, to this day. And has a great flying animation. So, definitely one you should still look at getting. Gear-wise, a lot of people, obviously, I think, still find the Lich King raids to have decent gear. Especially for certain classes. I think plate-wearing classes are all pretty good. Throughout the raid, you'll get tokens that you will trade in at the Argent Dawn for certain pieces. Weapon-wise, I think there's also some pretty decent gear here, and there are some BOEs that can drop for decent value. Now, in terms of starting the raid, it is a fairly simple process. You basically enter the raid, and you will be faced with the first two bosses, who are very simple. In terms of gearing, any player above level 60 with over 200 gear will probably be more than fine here. When I say probably, I mean you will be fine. You will insta one-shot everything. Just be careful of stragglers that will aggro you. Not for any major reason, just that they will be annoying. There are some spellcasters in this raid, so you do need to be aware of that. But there is no specific real requirement for any boss. There is a couple bosses here, I would say 3, where obviously there's maybe something you do need to know or be aware of beforehand, but beyond that there's not too much. One thing I will say about this raid is that there's actually a very fun achievement list. If you're an achievement hunter, there's a lot of cool niche challenges that require you to have a second player to do, and yeah, just something really interesting. So there's also a reward for the achievements in this raid as well, so if you're that way inclined, you should probably go out and get it. I'll do a guide to some of the more difficult achievements, should people want. In the description or comment section, you can let me know. But the first two bosses, really easy. Lord Marigar and Lady Deathwhisper really aren't anything too crazy. And they're in a hall, so you shouldn't have any problems. You're then going to want to wait, get on the elevator and go up. And then you'll move into a slightly different section, which obviously is a bit stranger, or something I found quite exciting. Personally, for me, Icecrown Citadel is a great raid, and an example of when Blizzard's lore and questing and raiding team all come together to produce something that's a spectacular experience. I think running Icecrown Citadel is truly amazing, and you know, if you can on Lich King Classic, I know it's not really there yet, but I mean, really try to experience this in a way that's actually difficult with a group. The lore, the moments in this raid are just fantastic, and I adore this raid. I adore Lich King as an expansion. I think most players do, but this raid was a crowning achievement for me, just in terms of atmosphere and questing capabilities. Now, the Gunship Battle is actually pretty straightforward. There's no need to get confused. A lot of players will jump across to the other ship. A lot of players will not know what to do. All you have to do, really, honestly, is get into the cannon and fire it once. There's really nothing else you need to do. That's it. There you go. Job done. The gun scales off of your damage. So the moment you fire off like 2 or 3 hits, you're basically done, which is obviously great from that perspective. Now, the next thing, or the next section, is going to be against Deathbringer Saurfang. Deathbringer Saurfang is, well, probably one of the cooler lore moments in the raid, at least for me overall. You speak to Moradin Bronzebeard once you get off the gunship, and that will then start the lore section. If there's one thing I can suggest here, is hang around a little bit after you defeat him. Yes, he'll die in one hit, but hang around a little bit after you defeat him, because it's actually somewhat interesting, the little lore component with High Lord Overfang, High Overlord Saurfang, because you can see quite a cool lore implication for things like BFA and later expansions, which, yeah, at least for me, when I, ran this raid, obviously it was just an emotional moment, but it's still pretty interesting to be able to kind of see these things all come together, which is great. But yeah, you can defeat him in one blow, so so far so good. Nothing too crazy, everything has been really straightforward, so you shouldn't have any problems. Next, you will be faced with kind of like 3 sections, and we're going to start in the Plague section, or the Plague Ward, or I think it's actually called the... it's the Plague Ward, or whatever it is. But basically, we're going to start there, and start with Rotface. You can start with either side, it doesn't matter. You need to remember to turn these pipes. So there will be pipes located right by the door where you enter to face the boss, and you need to turn these pipes. I totally did not forget to switch these pipes at all. You'll know it was a success when you see some liquid or gas or fluid running through the pipes towards the main door. If you don't turn these pipes, you can always go back and turn them later, but it will just obviously delay you, and you won't be able to face the main boss. Now you have to beat all the boss, or I say all in inverted commas. You have to beat all the final bosses here before you'll be able to face the Lich King. But there's one boss that we can skip, and she's probably the boss that everyone gets stuck on anyway. So all perfectly easy. She doesn't drop anything either. However, there are achievements meant for her, so if you're someone who's obviously chasing down the achievements, then you're going to need to keep that in mind. But so far so good. Once you've opened up all the doors, you still kill all the bosses in one hit. There's still nothing really crazy going on here, so easy, simple solution. The next section is the northern section, which is against the vampires. And first will be the Blood Council. You need to take out these 2 packs. Pretty straightforward stuff here. Kill them, and then after a brief bit of lore, the Vampire Queen will bring all of them back to dead. The Blood Queen Lanethel. I just love the aesthetic, by the way, of this raid, like just in general. By the way, remember to loot the corpses for any BOEs or greens, because you could make some decent money off them. We're talking like a couple hundred gold maybe, but I mean, it's still money. It's still a reason. Some do sell for a couple thousand, but those are very rare. So kill the council. Again, nothing too crazy here. Super simple process. And then from there, you can obviously kind of move on to the upper floor. You run up the stairs and you can take out Blood Queen Lanethel. There's a cool achievement here that requires you to actually be bitten by her and then kill her, and also to have another player bitten by her. You can achieve that as well if you want to. You just let her attack you a bit until she hits you with the Vampire Claw attack. A little hole will open that you can jump down through, which makes life a little bit easier, and then you can just move on to the next section. After killing all the mobs in the hallway on the right hand side, you will then be faced with this Rakul Valkyr lady. You can kill her, and now we come to the part of the raid that everyone truly enjoys, having to heal Valithria Dreamwalker. She has a lot of health, and you're going to say, oh, but Cole, how are you going to heal her? Well, there is an answer to this, and firstly, I'm not going to heal her at all. I really don't care. Quite frankly, healing her is just not something I'm interested in doing. You can see I have 1 heal on my character, and that did nothing. You can use bandages from later expansions if you want to. You can also just bring a healing class. It will make life easier. There are achievements tied to her as a unit. Oops, sorry about that. But generally, healing her is a long, extensive process. And if you don't manage to heal her before her second phase begins, especially as a single player, once you enter the rift, you're in trouble, because by entering the rift, you will despawn the instance, because there will be no player to remain to take out the mobs. So this is obviously, a bit of a quandary. How are we going to beat this? We don't have heals. We can't enter the rift world. How are we going to actually clear her section? Well, it's pretty simple. We're not. So once you despawn her like this, you can actually just run to the other side of the corridor, as you can see, and just take the elevator and just skip her. You actually don't need to do her at all, literally in any way, shape or form. So yeah, you can literally just skip her. Now the next is Sindragosa, and Sindragosa, for me at least, was probably one of the main reasons why I played Death Knight, just because of how cool Sindragosa is and how awesome it was to get a undead nightmare creature thing as a mount during Legion. But yes, so you need to kill her 2 offspring. Very, very simple. One-shot mobs, and then you kill her, which is also very simple, and a one-shot process. So again, lots of RP here, which is super interesting. If you're someone who doesn't know why this is happening, I highly implore you to honestly go and do the quest lines, or just play WoW Classic, man. Just play Classic Lich King. Honestly, give it a go. It's really, really awesome. But yeah, super simple stuff. I think personally, great raid. There's a little portal to the right here. If you walk up those stairs and take the path to the right or left, there's this little portal you can see there. And yeah, if you activate the portal and walk into it, you can just teleport back to the upper spire, and then you're good to go. So once you've killed Sindragosa, yes, even though we've left one boss, it doesn't matter. We can now just go to the main elevator and grab the portal there, which is pretty interesting, and obviously leads us to the final climatic battle against Arthas. Now the battle against Arthas is not hard and not long, but it is long because of the RP. There's a lot of RP in the Arthas fight. In fact, there's a whole 2.5 minute speech when you get him to the final health. Now there isn't anything too crazy here. There actually is a pretty fun achievement you can try and do with 2 players, which requires you to balance stacks of undeath to allow you to kill him when you have max stacks of undeath. It's not too hard, but it does require a little bit of forward thinking, which is pretty cool. But quite frankly, the actual fight itself is super duper straightforward. Very thematic and very cool. I think I can still appreciate, at least now, how amazing this raid fight was at the time. But yeah, the actual fight itself, for you who's farming Invincible, yeah, really, really simple. Super duper simple, honestly. So kill Arthas, and then you're done. Once you've done that, like I said, he's going to RP you to death, but then you're going to have Tyrion Fordring do his Power of Friendship anime move, and then he's going to take out Arthas. And, well, once he's done that, Arthas will then kind of rise up. Rise, rise, rise. Sorry, that's a song. And then you can just strike him down with one attack. At least for you, it'll be one attack. Or you can watch the really, really cool animations. But yeah, that's it. So super duper simple. Once you've killed him, you should hopefully see the Reins of Invincible. If you don't, that is unfortunate. The Reins have a drop rate of 3%. So it could take you a couple of attempts, could take you not a lot of attempts. Just depends on how RNGesus favors you on that day. In terms of value from the raid, honestly, there's not too much that you gain. Selling all of the items that we picked up netted us around 230 gold, which I guess is okay. You get more from doing one dragon riding quest. So doing an entire, and it is a long raid, it's 25 minutes, doing a 25-minute raid to get 230 golds, not the wildest. So you really are just doing it for the mount. You can trade the tokens in for the gear. It will increase their value slightly, but not by much, so it's not really worth the process. In terms of BOEs, there are some that you can pick up, like greens and things of such nature that you can sell for decent value. I think a couple of them that I have here I can sell for 70 or 20 gold, but nothing too wild. So really we didn't make a huge amount of money. Like I said, it's not a money making venture. It's more about the mount, and it will take you a while. Even running it super smooth will take you around 20 to 25 minutes. So rather leave an alt there that's designated to running it, and you can run it once a week, and you have to run it on Heroic 10 or Heroic 25. But that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed it, or a comment if you have any feedback, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, bye.